since this House approved the appointment of the substantive Cabinet Secretary, that's Professor Njuguna Ndungu, would I be in order, Mr. Speaker? Therefore, because we know the committee, the relevant committee is still at its formative stages, would I be in order to ask you, Mr. Speaker, that this matter be directed to the leader of majority, that he engages with the executive, and in particular the Cabinet Secretary responsible for National Treasury, by next week at the very latest, to make an equivocal undertaking as to when the first disbursements of the NGCDF funds are going to hit the accounts of the respective constituencies. And may I also dare say, Mr. Speaker, and this is no empty threat, that failure to do that, I will be moving members of the House to refrain from any talk of recess, firstly, and secondly, to refrain from any engagement on any business. Not until and unless CDF, NGCDF funds are disbursed. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I will be seeking your guidance on this matter, and indeed asking you to make give a direction to the relevant Cabinet Secretary to take it upon himself that these NGCDF funds are disbursed without any further delay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Majority Leader, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I just want to associate myself with the sentiments of the Leader of Minority. That matters to do with CDF, Honorable Speaker, and the National Government Action Fund, which is ably patronized by our county MPs, Honorable Speaker, are matters that are very sensitive, not to members of parliament, but to the people that we sit here to represent. And there is nobody in the executive who should imagine that you are doing any member of parliament any favor by disbursing CDF. CDF funds are funds that are going directly to the people. Our people are waiting for us not to go on recess. They are waiting for us to go home to process their bursaries for term 1 school fees in January. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to also express my concern. And I know there could be many excuses, not reasons, part of which relate to the papers I've just laid. And I want to ask all of us to expedite with the issue of, together with your fund managers, the issue of constituting your CDF, NGCDF committees at the constituency level, so that nobody uses that as an excuse not to disburse money. And in any case, Honorable Speaker, NGCDF is not disbursed to the committee. It is disbursed to the fund manager. The fund manager is an employee of the board, which is an extension of the National Treasury. So there's absolutely no reason why the National Treasury should not be disbursing our CDF. And I will indeed, as soon as, before even the House rises, I will engage with the Cabinet Secretary so that before we even consider breaking for recess, we have both NGCDF and GAF and all other monies, even those that pertain to our county governments, being disbursed to our county so that government may start functioning in earnest, including NGCDF and all the other affirmative funds. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader, I will give you an opportunity, perhaps together with the Chair of Budget and Finance, to engage the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury, and I'll give you an opportunity on Tuesday afternoon to make a formal statement out of that engagement so that you can be able to guide the House accordingly. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to give the following notice of motion, that noting the resolution of Senate of Wednesday, November 9th, 2022, regarding its partial concurrence on the appointment of members of Parliament to the Parliamentary Service Commission, notwithstanding the provision of Standing Order 49 and pursuant to the provisions of Article 1272 of the Constitution, this House approves the appointment of the Honorable Senator Eric Okongo Mogeni, Senior Council MP, to the Parliamentary Service Commission under subsection C2 of the said article. Thank you. That is the notice, honorable members. The motion will come.
Order. Honorable Musa Sirma, did you have a notice of motion or a paper to lay?
On CDF.
What do you have?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 10th.
We go back to order number 5.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
It is, okay, report on the Select Committee on National Government Constituency Development Fund on list of nominees to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 124 constituencies.
Thank you.
Yes. The notice of motion.
Do you have a
here.
notice of motion as well?
Yes.
Go ahead.